Hey everyone, it's Zack Beck. As a lifelong California resident, it has been fascinating to see the amount of individuals leaving the state of California recently, with people such as Joe Rogan, Ben Shapiro, Graham Stephan, and potentially even Elon Musk heading out of state. And there can be a variety of reasons causing this, whether that is taxes, regulation, the homelessness issue that we have here, or potentially a depreciating quality of life. And it's not just celebrities who are leaving. Everyday Californians are heading to other states and they're finding another pathway for their particular lives. So what I want to do in this video is talk about what is causing this right now, how you or I should be planning if we either live in California right now or plan to come here in the future. So let's take our time and dive into the details and jump into it right now. The state of California has the 5th largest economy in the world, with the San Francisco Bay Area having a GDP of $535 billion. Furthermore, we have one of the largest agricultural sectors on the planet, where we produce more strawberries, peaches, avocados, lemons, and grapes than any other state here in America. Furthermore, we have a booming entertainment industry that contributes up to $50 billion annually to California's economy, as well as 2.5 million jobs. But what we're also finding is that the state of California has incredible weather. Here in San Diego, where I live, we have a Mediterranean climate, which is very moderate throughout the course of the year, and not to mention we have beautiful beaches, beautiful mountains, deserts, and valleys that go throughout the state of California, making it rich with natural resources, as well as opportunities to go out and enjoy nature. But there is a downside to California as well. We have the largest poverty rate in the United States of America. Furthermore, we have skyrocketing taxes when it comes to income. Now income taxes up to 13.3% on top of what you pay for federal income taxes. So these are a variety of things that we're seeing a disproportionate impact on certain individuals in our society, and that is causing a bit of this migration. The first area that is probably having the most significant impact on people deciding to leave the state is actually our tax structure here in California. As previously mentioned, the top income tax bracket right now pays 13.3% for their income. And once again, that is on top of federal income taxes. That makes it higher than any other state in the union, and it's causing certain individuals to leave. When you factor that in for some of our higher net worth individuals here in California, it is understandable they might decide to go to another state. And also you're finding that the business structure when it comes to taxes is also significant. If you have an LLC, a sole proprietorship, or any other business here in the state, you're paying some of the highest taxes anywhere throughout the state of California. Furthermore, when it comes to taxes, right now we have generally low property taxes because of Proposition 13. However, there's right now a proposition on the ballot to overturn Prop 13 when it comes to commercial real estate, and that eventually could lead its way to residential real estate. And if we start to see these taxes increase in this particular area, you might see even further exasperation of the amount of people deciding to leave the state due to the cost. On that note, taxes are a complicated subject because obviously one of the great benefits of being in a dynamic state like California is the opportunity to engage with more consumers, engage with more constituents, engage with more individuals, and have opportunities that you might not have afforded to yourself if you were to be in another state. So paying your fair share of taxes is also beneficial because you're contributing back to the state that provided you with that opportunity. But when it gets to a level where people are able to work in our current technological environment and do so not within the confines of the boundaries of any state, it becomes incumbent on those individuals to make a wise and well-informed financial decision. So for someone like a Joe Rogan, a Graham Stephan, a Ben Shapiro, or even an Elon Musk, I totally get why they would want to go elsewhere and actually not have to spend the amount of taxes on what they would have to do here in the state of California. When you go down to the middle class though, you might even see a similar thing. If someone could have a similar job in a different state but pay less taxes, their quality of life would increase. So it's one of those interesting dynamics, and if you're seeing that we had great services as a result of that, it might be more incumbent on those individuals to want to contribute to that. But when we see these problems that are mounting throughout the state of California, specifically the homelessness issue, specifically the affordability of housing and just general cost of living, it's understandable that people are wanting to leave the state. Now, moving beyond taxes, I want to talk a little bit about quality of life. Now, as previously mentioned, the homelessness problem here in the state of California has become significant, and it's understandable in the sense that right now, California is one of the areas where you have a bit more of accepting governments when it comes to dealing with the homeless issue, but also our weather is more conducive to people living outside in very challenging circumstances. Now, I want to be really clear that anyone who's dealing with homelessness, I have empathy for them because it is a very challenging circumstance that people are facing. Sometimes these people are dealing with mental health issues, they're dealing with physical issues, they're dealing with stuff that has gone beyond themselves, and it's really difficult and really disheartening to see them in this particular state. But what I would say is that it's important for us to find pathways for these individuals to get on the track towards recovery, and so that way they don't find themselves in this systemic cycle where they're continuing to live on the streets, but that way they can move forward and not only become contributing members of society, but find fulfillment and purpose and meaning in their lives. And not to say that they don't have that right now, but I would say it's more difficult for them to find so right now. In addition, we want to address the substance abuse issue that's a part of this, and it can have disproportionate impacts on our overall public health. We recently saw in the city of San Diego a couple years ago a hepatitis A outbreak because of people living on the streets. So it's important for us to be aware that this issue that we're seeing in the state of California does have disproportionate impacts, not just on those who are on the streets, but those who are living outside. Because you might have difficulty just walking along a boardwalk, maybe you're in Santa Monica. If you're going to a park, some area, you might find a needle or something like that. It's a bit disheartening and a bit disconcerting, but it needs to be addressed, and it needs to be done so in a thoughtful, compassionate manner, but one that actually addresses the issue and deals with the heart cause, and hopefully that can bring us some sort of relief moving forward. But I totally understand that people deciding to go elsewhere might have this quality of life issue as being one of the driving factors for them to leave the state. Another area that is potentially driving people out of the state of California is crime. Now, crime has been unfortunately on the increase throughout the state, and this could be due to a variety of reasons, whether that's due to lack of funding and resources in different police departments, or potentially due to the issues that we're finding right now where certain legislation has been passed which allows for lighter sentencing and things of that nature. So what we're finding is this is a very complex issue that does require a multifaceted approach to address, but it's something that has been on the increase. And on that note, I know we've had a larger discussion here in the United States of America recently due to defunding the police or funding the police, but I believe that there's always the middle ground we can find where we want to make sure that we're bringing all the interested parties to the table to address issues like this, whether they be systemic issues that are dealing with law enforcement, or we're dealing with making sure that law enforcement does have the resources they need to address these issues, and making sure that we're also funding other areas that can help people who don't necessarily need to be addressed criminally, but maybe from a psychological or social perspective. So it's very multifaceted, it's a little bit deeper, but I just want to give you my brief thoughts on that. Furthermore, we're finding in the state of California is in the Assembly and the Senate, as well as in the governorship, they're all controlled by the Democratic Party. So this generally has the tendency for us to maybe have less balanced legislation when you only have one party rule. Now, there's benefits to this because they can push forward and move forward in concert and actually pass legislation that does have a positive impact on people's lives, and that's irrespective of if it was a Republican-led or a Democratic-led or something else. But generally speaking, when you only have one party dictating all the outcomes, it sometimes doesn't allow for there to be that moderation and balance that can actually address issues where it does take into consideration all the constituencies in the state of California, or in any municipality or any state or any country for that matter. So I think you're also finding that people who might have a general predisposition away from the Democratic Party might be heading in a different direction, leaving the state. And to me, that is an unfortunate reality we're finding ourselves facing right now in the United States of America, is we have become quite polarized. Barack Obama, back when he ran for president, said we are not red states, not blue states, but we're the United States of America. But it seems like all the more so, we now are finding ourselves aligning ourselves depending upon our political ideology to a state or to a subregion or to anything else to make sure it's in alignment with our values. And I totally get it. We have differing opinions, differing beliefs. Like I said, I personally have grown up expressing Republican and Democratic values and having that type of view in my upbringing as well, where both my parents had differing belief systems. But I believe it's important for us right now to make decisions that are best for our families, best for our lives, so we can move forward and achieve all of our goals, whether they be financial, vocational, or personal. And if you were to be here in the state of California, you will find there are certain challenges, like I said, the higher taxes, the current quality of life, but there are some benefits, like I said previously. We have a dynamic economy, we have a very diverse population, we have wonderful weather, and we have great assets here in this state. So it's really interesting for you to take that into consideration if you are either considering moving here or if you currently live here like I do, considering whether to leave the state. I think it's important for us to verify the most important things in our lives and understand that money isn't the only thing that we have. Our life is more beyond just what our political affiliations are, but what we really have the ability to do is to lead lives of meaning and purpose that maintain balance and moderation in all things. So my encouragement to you is that if you're considering leaving California, take all the time, dive into the details, crunch the numbers, but do a self-assessment in your heart to say, is this the right thing for me? Furthermore, if you live in a different state and you're considering moving here, similarly, ask yourself about the current state you live in or current country that you live in. So that's my encouragement right now, is that California is definitely going through some challenges right now, but it's not stuff that cannot be overcome if there's thoughtful individuals in leadership, if we have a well-informed electorate, and most importantly, if we ourselves take it upon ourselves to invest in our communities, not just financially, but individually, just doing what we can to either volunteer, to help, or just to have thoughtful dialogue and discourse by being a caring human being. Whatever you can do to make a positive impact in your life by impacting your community, I think is a good step to take. Lastly, I want to note that as a lifelong California resident, I truly love the state of California. It would be very difficult for me to leave this state, but I totally understand the reasons why people are doing so right now, and it's something that is going to require more time and thought on my own end if I were to ever do so myself. But I believe that if people are here, they should be doing everything they can to invest in their communities, to make a difference, to make a positive impact in other people's lives. Now, I hope that there will be certain reforms in our legislative process that does make the state more affordable, that provides greater access to housing, that addresses the homelessness issue, and allows people to lead those lives of meaning and purpose while maintaining balance and moderation. So with all that being said, I'd like to thank you for watching the video today. If you wouldn't mind, please like the video. That would really help the channel out for the YouTube algorithm. In addition, if you have any questions, please comment down below. I'd love to interact with you, get to know you, do any research on your behalf, and help you understand these issues in greater detail, given my experience as a lifelong California resident. In addition, if you wouldn't mind, please subscribe to the channel. That would help the channel out immensely, and I do everything I can to create content on this channel that hopefully makes a positive impact in your life. So I want to continue to do that, and if you subscribe to the channel, that would help me do so. Furthermore, if you subscribe to the channel, please tap the notification bell. That will notify you every time I post a video, which I do on a weekly basis. Once again, I'd like to thank you for watching the video today. I look forward to talking to you next time. Have a great day.